Reliable information or a waste of your time? We're going to discuss where you can find good, reliable information for your research studies and sources that you should avoid. First, what do we mean by reliable? When we say a source is reliable, we are saying that the person or group that wrote the information is an expert on the topic. They have studied the topic and done their own first-person research in some cases. They aren't simply guessing or going off of what they heard through the grapevine. Now let's start with everyone's go-to website, Wikipedia. I know students love using Wikipedia, but the truth is it isn't a reliable source due to its editable nature. Anyone with internet access can write and make changes to Wikipedia articles, except in limited cases where editing is restricted to prevent disruption or vandalism. Users can contribute anonymously, under an alias, or if they choose to, with their real identity. So how accurate is Wikipedia? Well, a 2008 study in the journal Reference Services Review pegged Wikipedia's accuracy rate at only 80% compared to 95 to 96% among other sources. Well-sourced articles written according to Wikipedia guidelines should have citations listed at the bottom of each page, with links to other information sources. This means that savvy readers can use Wikipedia as an information hub to follow the link trail to more expert or authoritative websites. Let's look at a few examples of some wiki pages that have been altered with inaccurate information. Here is one where the page dedicated to the Secretary of Defense for the USA was changed to a professional soccer player, Tim Howard. No doubt they meant this to be quite funny. Here is another where a page about baseball player Lonnie Chisenhall was edited greatly. They used phrases like crush the entire Texas Rangers pitching staff, using only his robotic eyes and bat speed of sheer terror, and stating that afterwards Chisenhall ate 4 of the baseballs like apples. Now, not all edits are this obvious. Some may be written to sound accurate in order to truly fool the reader. Eventually, these errors or acts of vandalism are found and corrected, but it may not be before some unknowing soul cites the inaccurate information. Okay, now let's talk about blogs and personal web pages. As you know, anybody can publish a blog on the internet. This poses an obvious problem with using a blog as a research source, as there is no way to know the credentials of many bloggers or to get an understanding of the writer's level of expertise. Many people create blogs to give themselves a forum to express their views and opinions, and many of these people consult really shaky sources to form their beliefs. You could use a blog for a quote, but never use a blog as a serious source of facts for a research paper. A web page is much like a blog when it comes to being an unreliable research source. Web pages are created by the public, so you have to be very careful when choosing them as sources. It's sometimes difficult to determine which websites are created by experts and professionals on a given topic. If you think about it, using information from a personal web page is just like stopping a perfect stranger on the street and collecting information from him or her. Not very reliable. Other typically unreliable sources can include discussion forums, questionable sites created by organizations that may have political or biased agendas, sites that provide biased or opinion-based information, online sources with a URL that ends in HTML or that ends in .com. So how do you know if a source is reliable? Well, to determine reliability of online sites and organizations, look at the URL as ending. If the site ends in .edu, it is most likely an educational institution. If the site ends in .gov, it's most likely a reliable government website. If the site ends in .org, it's usually a nonprofit organization. These sources vary in being good or poor sources of information, and you will still need to research their possible agendas and biases if they exist. Reputable online journals and magazines contain a bibliography for every article. List sources within that bibliography that are sometimes extensive and always include scholarly non-internet sources, and have statistics and data within the article that validate the claims made by the author. When consulting news sources, remember that every television and print news source has a website. They are reliable, but sometimes the focus is to entertain rather than inform. Think of these sources as stepping stones to more reliable sources. Don't get the wool pulled over your eyes when doing research. Know how to critically analyze sources to determine whether the information they are trying to feed you is accurate and worth your time. Well, that's it. Happy searching.